Okay guys, I know this is not the most professional setup, but I'm right now at the beach, at the ocean. It's eclipse season. Today is the lunar eclipse and I really wanted to make a video, and I felt like I need a kind of like space where I just can't speak a bit more slowly, a bit longer, and I hope it's fine for you. I'm trying to do a more professional video in the future. But for now, let's talk about the eclipse season. So first, what is eclipse season? Eclipse season basically means, or basically represents in astrology, a period of your life in which many things can lead to a change. And it is usually a time where events are happening to lead you to the right path. Let's say you are in a relationship which is not good for you. This eclipse season can maybe like completely cut off this relationship because it wasn't good for you. And you feel during the eclipse season, oh my God, what is happening? I feel so bad, blah, blah, blah. But actually it was the universe redirecting you because it told you in a very harsh way that this relationship is not for you. Or you are in a job, in a profession in which you feel like this is actually not the profession I want to work in forever, but I'm in my comfort zone, so I'm staying here. So then during eclipse season, it can be that you get fired, all right, or you get a burnout, you get sick, whatsoever. Again, the universe trying to redirect you into a new path. And this is basically what eclipse season is about. It is usually a time of fateful events, chaotic events. So really, in general, what you can do, just look at the signs. Look at what's happening around you. Look at what you are dreaming. Look at what is happening today. Look at what you are working at. Look at, I don't know, like every kind of like of those signs can be more prominent right now and more important than usually. Specifically because this lunar eclipse today is happening in the sign of Pisces. And what is Pisces? Pisces rules over symbolism. Pisces rules over external universes. Pisces rules over external realms. Pisces is giving us a language which is not with words, but with pictures. It's a very visual sign. So basically, this is what you want to do. You want to look at the signs around you and try to translate it for your own life. And you want to do that throughout the whole month. Now, specifically, today, the lunar eclipse is happening in the sign of Pisces in the 15th degree, which is the Gemini degree. Gemini degree rules over communication, okay? And it can mean that your communication is going to be affected. However, the lunar eclipse usually represents your emotional state. Solar eclipses represent the external world, the material world. But lunar eclipses, they represent more of your emotions, of your emotional being, of your family, of your privacy, of your private home, private life, the realm you are currently in, okay? It represents all of that. So you want to kind of like see this lunar eclipse as a representation or a culmination of events related to your inner state, to your inner being, to your feelings. And the lunar eclipse can also kind of like shed light onto that, right? Because the eclipses are usually very hidden things, because they are like hiding the luminaries in a way. And so this lunar eclipse can kind of like shed light on your hidden feelings. And it can also hide feelings for you. It can do both. On the one hand, it can be like you want to hide a certain part of yourself, usually the shadow self. On the other hand, you need to kind of like put light onto that exact part. Because this lunar eclipse is happening in the sign of Pisces, and Pisces rules over the hidden self, hidden things. Now let's just talk quickly about what I mean when I say hidden things. I'm not talking about secrets. Okay, when I say secrets, I'm talking about Scorpio. But Pisces rules over hidden things. Think about the ocean. I'm at the ocean actually right now. When you see the ocean, you know there are like so many fishes, so many sea creatures inside the ocean. Very, very, very deep into the ocean. And even scientists don't know what is inside the ocean, okay? There are like so many fishes we don't even know about because scientists weren't able to get into the very, very, very deep water. But we know they are there. And that's the difference. A secret is something you don't know or you don't get to know. Something hidden, Pisces energy, is you know that there is something. You just cannot see it. Okay, you know that there is something, but you're not able to see it. And so this is with your shadow self. You know that there is something inside of you, which you, maybe it's also a secret, because Pisces and Scorpio, they can connect. Secrets are often hidden, and hidden things can be a secret, so it's a bit of both. But when we talk about the shadow self, we don't talk about the things, which you don't want to tell others. We talk about the things which you maybe even don't see by yourself, because they're so hidden, they're even hidden from you. And this lunar eclipse in Pisces kind of like can shed light onto that. So you really want to do some shadow work. You really want to ask yourself, try to bring out questions in which you feel like, okay, this is maybe a good thing for me to ask myself, because like this I can bring out my shadow. And I will post something on my Instagram story. I will post a couple of questions, but just to give you an example. For example, you can ask yourself, how do I feel when I'm around people? And then you think about, like, how do you feel when you're around people? Are you nervous? Do you stutter? Are you anxious? Do you enjoy it? Like, ask yourself a lot of questions about things you're currently in or things you're currently experiencing, and try to get the shadow out of it somehow, alright? So this is shadow work, your hidden self, okay? It's not necessarily bad, but it's hidden. And it can also represent your hidden trauma, your hidden anger, your hidden emotions, whatsoever. Maybe the things even you know that they are there somewhere, but you don't know exactly where they are yet. And so one thing which is very interesting during this eclipse is that we have Saturn in the 29th degree of Pisces. So Saturn was in Aries, it entered Aries in the end of May, but then it retrograded, and now in September it entered again the sign of Pisces. So we do have so much Pisces energy right now, and the 29th degree is a critical degree because it is an erected degree. So Saturn is in the 29th degree, which represents an ending, a finalization, and Saturn is a very karmic planet, okay? So kind of like it is saying, you have to look at the hidden things. You have to look at the things you do not want to see, or you're not able to see. Because if you don't do that, then karma is harming you. Karma is getting you. So you're kind of like forced to do the things you don't want to do, in the sense of like you need to face your shadows, okay? And then there's also a lot of new energy going on there, because you will have a small talent. It's called in German, kleines Talent, a small talent. A small talent represents when two planets are in sextile and one planet is in a trine. And we do have that currently. We have a Pluto in the first degree, trining Uranus in the first degree, sextiling both Neptune in the first degree in Aries. So we have three planets involved, all in the first degree. Okay, first degree is an Aries degree that represents the beginning of something, and they are all in new signs, because Pluto entered this year the sign of Aquarius, Uranus entered this year the sign of Gemini, and Neptune entered this year the sign of Aries. And all of them will be finally or will be completely in those signs in 2026. So those three planets, they're going to show you what is going to be new in your life. And then Saturn is showing you what you need to get rid of. Okay, because Saturn is in the 29th degree of Pisces, it wants to finalize something. It's like you have to do the last exam in your studies in order to get to the new degree you want to have. For example, you're doing your bachelor's and then you're doing the final presentation in order to be able to do your master's. This is like what this energy is about. So Saturn is the last degree in the sign of Pisces, so it represents the finalization, the karmic shadow thing you do not want to see about yourself. And then next year, every planet, all of the generation planets are going to be new signs, and it shows us the new beginnings. And the new beginnings are already present through Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. And that can be very radical, because those planets, they're not changing signs often. They're maybe changing signs every 5 to 15 years, okay? So it's a very, very important aspect, this kleines Talent, how I called it. So what you want to do, you want to get at your chart and look where you have Pisces. For example, you have Pisces in the 6th house, which is the house of health and house of work. And this is the place where you have to get rid of something. And then you want to look where you have Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus, and see where you have to make something new. So for example, you have, let's say, Neptune in the 10th. You want to do something new in your career, and first you have to get rid of your old job or something like that. So this is like a very good tip. I will not do the general analyzations here, because I don't do that. If you want me to read your eclipse chart, you can book a reading under focus in my link is the bio. You can always book an eclipse reading with me if you want to, but usually, yeah, it's just a little help. If you know a bit of astrology, check up the houses, check up where the planets are, check up the meaning, and try to combine it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the lunar eclipse. Very emotional. And another thing which is very important, don't overestimate yourself. We have a Jupiter-Mars square here going on, and this is a kind of like a bit of a dangerous square, okay? Because Mars is violence, Mars is aggression, Mars is accidents. In the sign of Libra, it doesn't do very well. So you really want to don't use this eclipse season to like do things like, for example, don't try to not get a burnout, try to not be completely like, I don't know, do the most dangerous things. You can of course use that energy to create things, but don't put too much on your table right now. Put things on your table, but try to do the things you really want to do and don't put like everything on the table. That's the last thing I want to say. And for like global predictions, Saturn always represents in the Pisces, it represents Palestine, it represents Gaza, it represents the restrictions in the sea, the blockades in the sea, it represents ships. And we see right now there are like so many people on the ships going to Gaza. And this is kind of the Saturn, it's like the finalization of something. So I think we should just have like all eyes on Palestine right now, because this energy can be very dangerous for Palestine actually. But it can also like bring an ending to something, which kind of like can also mean that Israel is going to try to get everyone out of Gaza, or like try to completely destroy it. So yeah, all eyes on that. Go to protest, demonstrate, donate, do everything that you can to resist against the occupation. And then the other things as well, Russia and Ukraine. Russia can, there could be also news about that. Very prominent energy for the eclipse season. This is about global politics. Otherwise, seas, blockades, health system, very important thing. It's the lunar eclipse in the sign, in the axis of Pisces and Virgo, so health crisis, system change. Film industry is also a very prominent Pisces energy. So systems in the creative and artist world and in the healing world, like hospitals, they can both be a thing. So you really want to look at that. But for you personally, as I said, those are the most important things you want to look at for now. And then for the solar eclipse, we will talk again.